Buenos días, niños y niñas. Good morning, boys and girls. Today is April 20th, 2020. Let's read today's date in Spanish. I would like you to try it first, and then I will go over it. So go ahead and try it first. Okay, let's see. Hoy es el 20 de abril, año 2020. Okay, our objectives for today. Students will be able to review the verb ser and its conjugations by watching an interactive grammar lesson. So, I'm going to be reviewing that verb that we talked about, ser, and by conjugations, I mean making sure that the verb, the correct form of the verb, goes with the correct subject pronoun. That's what conjugating a verb is. It is the hardest thing I'm going to teach you this trimester, as I've mentioned before. And the reason why it's so hard is just because there's just so many options in Spanish. And in English, there's not that many. So you just have to keep more in mind, okay? But hopefully the grammar notes will help you, okay? Now it says, do now open your chapter 1 grammar notes and study the chart for 5 minutes. So what I would like you to open up is this right here, these grammar notes. Oh, couldn't preview the file. Okay. So let me just load them up really quickly. Okay. So these are the grammar notes that I'm talking about. Now, I noticed that a lot of you did much, much better on this exit ticket, this last one. So congrats to you. I wanted to make something, just a little note so you guys know to use the chart. Notice how the indefinite articles follow the same guidelines as the definite articles. So remember, you're looking to figure out which one of these four to use, or which one of these four to use. You have to look for first what gender the noun is, or the adjective, and then how many of them are there. That helps you to figure out which one to use. Remember that words that end in O are masculine, words that end in A are feminine. And the same thing applies to these. So I noticed that you guys, some of you did really well with the indefinite, but we're struggling with the definite. Some of you did well with both, and then some of you did well with these and not so much with these. So just remember they follow the same guidelines. Now what I would like you to keep open is this chart right down here, because this is the one where you see the verbs being conjugated. What does that mean? You have your subject pronouns on the left, okay? So the person you're talking about, I, you, he, she, we, and they, and the other ones. And then the correct form of this verb to be, so that it actually says, I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, they are, okay? And I gave you some examples here. I want you to look at these sentences and notice how the sentence is structured, okay? So for example, yo soy alto. Here's your subject, I, then am, the verb, and then something to describe them, okay? All right, so just take a look at this for like 5 minutes. Study it. You want to get to know this chart very well, all right? And what that will do is it'll help you go through the lesson a lot easier, because then as I go through it, you'll be able to compare with the chart, okay? So I want you to watch today's lesson. Today's lesson should be a lot shorter. I apologize for the longer videos lately. I've been trying to make sure you guys are understanding this well. And I want you to practice for 5 to 10 minutes. So I've been having you practice this verb and the definite articles a lot more than the vocab, because on the test, the grammar is what people have the hardest time with. So that's why I've been having you guys practice so much. Please make sure you practice, all right? I want you to practice this Quizlet that I'm going to attach for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now you can also browse other ones that have to do with the verb ser, okay? But this one's pretty good because it has a bunch of index cards, and you guys can play the games as well. It's a good way to practice, all right? So don't feel like you have to just do the flashcards. You can play matching games, the gravity games. You can do other things as well. So please do that for 5 to 10 minutes today so that you get good practice. After you practice, okay, and I hope you're trusting me with the order of these things. After you practice for about 5 to 10 minutes, then I want you to take exit ticket number 3. Okay? I'm going to assign it today. You should see it here in the corner. And it is due on, it's technically due on Wednesday by midnight. So don't wait until, I know it says due 4/23/20. Don't wait until Thursday. All right? You have 3 days, today, tomorrow, all of Wednesday to do it. It's going to be due Wednesday at midnight, but I put the 23rd there. Now, exit ticket 3 should look just like the other two. Don't use Google Translate because it's not going to help you. What will help you is your grammar notes. This is what I want you to look at. That's why I have you pull it up. That's why I want you to study it for a little bit today. And the Quizlet should help you. So there's really no reason to use Google Translate. If I ever assign something that I feel like Google Translate will help you, again, I don't mind the program, so I will let you know so you can use it. I'm not against it. All right, let's get started with the lesson. Today's lesson is all about conjugating that verb. So basically, I'm going to show you the interactive version from the textbook. You're going to listen to a conversation through some students, and I'm going to explain what they're talking about. Let's see. We have a couple students here. It looks like it's school time, and let's see what she says. She says, Hola, yo soy Marta. ¿Eres tú un alumno nuevo? So she's asking this guy a question, isn't she? And she says something about herself. I want you to try and figure out what the sentence is saying first, and then I'll go over it. Pausing point. Okay, so she says, hello, hola. And now here she says, yo soy Marta. What is yo? I. What is soy? Am. You should be looking at that chart, right? Yo soy, I am. I am Marta. Now notice here that they switch these two around because she's asking a question, okay? Notice how in the chart, tú eres, you are, but in the activity they switched it around. Eres tú, are you a student that is new? Remember the adjectives in Spanish, you got to switch them around. So, are you a new student? That's what she's asking him. Let's see what he says. Sí, soy un alumno nuevo. Soy Diego. All right. Here again, I want you to just read the paragraph, figure out what's going on. Pausing point. And it says, yes, I am a new student. I am Diego. Notice here the difference between how they used soy. Here she says, I am Marta. And then here he just says, am Diego. Remember, you can get rid of I, the subject pronoun, because in Spanish, every single subject has a different form of the verb. So just keep that in mind, okay? So you can say that in Spanish. Something cool you can do in Spanish. Can't really do it in English because it sounds weird. But, so yes, he's a new student. Let's keep going. ¿Es ella la profesora de español? ¿Es ella la profesora de español? Again, see if you can figure out this sentence. Pausing point. And he says, is she the Spanish teacher? Is she the Spanish teacher? So is she the Spanish teacher? Kind of looks like a teacher. Notice here again, because they're asking a question, it's going to be, is she, not she is, all right? And let's see what she responds. She responds by saying, no, el señor García es el profesor de español. Él es muy simpático. So here is where you're going to start to see the way that the sentences are formed as well. Notice how they're adding more adjectives. And you can start to make sentences like this just on the vocabulary you've learned so far. Okay? And I encourage you to practice at home if you want to, if you feel confident enough, try to form a couple sentences for yourself. No, the Mr. Garcia is the teacher, the Spanish teacher. He is very nice. Él es muy simpático. The boy says, ¿Es usted el señor García? Are you Mr. Garcia? And he responds, Sí, sí, soy el profesor de español. Yes. Now again, notice how they didn't use yo soy. You can just say soy. Soy el profesor de español. I am the Spanish teacher. And he kind of looks like me. Not really. All right, here we have a huge classroom. Un salón grande, una clase grande, con muchachos morenos, muchachas rubias, ¿ok? ¿No hay pelirrojos? No, no hay pelirrojos. Ok. Pero la clase es grande, ¿ok? No hay muchos estudiantes, pero la clase es grande. See if you could understand what I just said. I was talking about the classroom. All right. Let's see, the boy says, son todos los alumnos de México. Now here you might want to do something quick. You might want to look at the chart and look at the form of the verb son and see who is he talking about. All of the students from Mexico. But let's look at that verb, that form of the verb son. If you go to son, see if you can find it here. It's right here. So he's got to be talking about they. They masculine, they feminine, or just they as a group. If you think about it, who is they in this picture? The students, los alumnos. Are all of the students from Mexico? See what he says. Well, pues Pedro y Paco, ellos son de Guadalajara. Notice how here he could have just said, pues Pedro y Paco son de Guadalajara. Again, you don't need to use the subject verb, but they put it together. Son, they are. And if it's Pedro and Paco, okay, ellos, because it's two boys. They are from Guadalajara. That's a city in Mexico, by the way. And let's see, they say, y Ana y Marta, ellas, two girls, son de Guadalajara también. I want you to notice how no matter what gender or what group of people you have, the verb does not, you don't have to worry about gender with the verb. Notice how son for masculine or for a group of boys, son for a group of girls. And here they're talking about these two. And he says, pero Eva y Álvaro, ellos son de Argentina. So he's saying, but these two are from Argentina. And again, mixed group, ellos, you go with the masculine form, and notice how the verb stays the same. Ellos son de Argentina. Okay, let's see what else they have. You're now logged in. Okay, I was, but so I apologize for the next 2 minutes while I log this back in. So hopefully, I just want to mention, by the way, while I'm loading this up, I was pretty pleased with the exit tickets that you guys passed in recently. I noticed the majority of you, I want to say like 90% of you, and this is including 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, all turned it in on time. That is great because remember that the policy says I do give you 3 days for these formatives. They're only 10 questions. So try to turn them in on time. If you are having trouble turning it in on time, just let me know. All right, send me an email. I'm pretty flexible, but I have to be, it's all academic integrity, kids. So if you're turning it in on time, you're fine. If you're turning it in late, try to turn it in on time, okay? And overall, I was pretty pleased with the exit tickets, so keep it up. You're going to want to use these exit tickets for the summative, which is coming up. So let's continue with our story. Now the boy is talking to the group, and he says, Ustedes son de Argentina, ¿no? You all are from Argentina, right? He could have been talking to a group of students, a group of adults. Ustedes is not formal or informal, the plural version. So if you look at the chart, this one right here is like saying you all. This one's unique because, again, this one's the one that's used in Spain. And this one, the singular version, is only when you're talking to adults or you're being respectful. This one, only when you're talking to a friend. That's why this stuff is hard. Lots of little options. But let's see. Ustedes son de Argentina, no? So it's just talking to a group of people, plural, ustedes, and they say, sí, nosotros somos de Buenos Aires. This form of the verb, we are, nosotros somos. We are, nosotros somos. Now, why did she use nosotros and not nosotras? Pausing point. You may have noticed that it's a mixed group. If it was two girls, she would have said nosotras. But it's a boy and a girl, so you have to go with the masculine form. Well, my friends, I believe that is it for today's lesson. Please make sure you do the Quizlet before I pause the video and I assign everything. I want to look at the schedule really quickly. I will be mentioning this all week because I don't want to hear any surprises, oh, I didn't know. I'm going to mention it in the video. I'm going to post it on the thing. So please listen. This is the last week before we go on vacation. Yay, vacation. Now, what this week is going to look like is today, you're going to do the review. You're going to take exit ticket 3. Remember, exit ticket 3 is due. Try to do it by Wednesday. Okay? Now, the week is going to look like this. We're going to review the verb today. Tomorrow, we're going to review the entire vocabulary that we did. Wednesday is a day for you to catch up. Catch up on exit tickets if you're missing any work that I gave you, which is pretty much the exit tickets. Okay? Watch the lessons if you haven't caught up on the lessons. Review the lessons if you feel like you're missing something or you want to review something. On Thursday, we are going to review the grammar. We're going to review definite articles, indefinite articles, and this verb stuff on Thursday. On Friday is your summative for this chapter. What this summative will include is the vocabulary and the grammar from this chapter. So you have all the notes you need to study. You have the grammar notes that I just showed you for this lesson. And if you go back in the stream to the beginning of the chapter, you have your chapter 1 vocabulary notes somewhere. So you can load those up. Now, what I wanted to mention about the summative is that I'm planning as of right now to have the summative due the same day. So I'm only giving you 24 hours to do it. I'm going to assign it on Friday and it's going to be due 24 hours from when I post it. I haven't decided 100% sure yet how I'm going to go about it, but just know and be prepared to take the summative on Friday. I'm going to be mentioning it all week. That's not going to change. Your summative is going to be the 24th, this Friday coming up. The logistics of it, I'm still trying to figure out, but be prepared to take the summative on the 24th. Chapter 1 summative. Chapter 1 summative, just so you have a heads up, is not like the exit tickets. The reason why it's not like the exit tickets is, first of all, it's a summative. Second of all, I'm not going to give you 3 days to take a summative. Okay? I'll explain more as the week goes on. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I hope you guys have a great start to the week. Enjoy the nice days. It might rain a little this week, but enjoy your time at home. Practice, okay? Practiquen, muchachos. Y nos vemos después. Hasta luego.